Hi, and welcome to Fretwork Central, the place to learn guitar and bass. In this video, we're going to learn about some open string hammer-ons and pull-offs. So let's check it out. There are many different ways to play licks and melodies and scales and stuff on the guitar. One thing that you could do is to use the open strings to your advantage and do some stuff like this. There are a lot of examples throughout history of guitar playing where these type of licks have been used. And we're just going to jump right in and take a look at number one. What we're going to play here is triplets for the most part, and we're going to play open, and then we're going to do two hammer-ons. Right here we're going to play 6 open, and then the 3rd fret and the 5th fret. Now all of this is going to be using primarily the E minor pentatonic scale. Those are the notes E, G, A, B, and D in different places. So one of the things we want to do is mute these open strings and get more of a percussive sound. You don't really want to hear them open like that. It's going to be more of a if you want to hear someone who is a master at doing this very technique, check out Nuno Betancourt from the band Extreme. He's very good at this stuff. So what we're going to do here is play open and then hammer to 3 and 5, then open 5 to 7. Then we're going to switch strings and go 5 to 7 on the 5th string only, then 5 to 7, 7 to 9 on the 4th string, and then only 7 to 9 on the 3rd string. Then we're going to move up to the 8th fret and play 8 to 10, then 10 to 12, and then 10 to 12 on the 1st string. What we're doing is using this pentatonic scale area in octaves. Now, one thing that's cool is that all of the open strings are in the E minor pentatonic scale. We got an E, A, D, G, B, E. All of those notes are in the E minor pentatonic scale. So if you're playing something over E minor and you want to use some open strings, all of those are available. Now we're going to mute tight, hammer hard, and just flow through it. You might want to do all that picking with a downstroke. It's not real important to do this fast. You could, which kind of sounds cool, but what you want to do is have a flow to it. Now, of course, in practice, you want to practice this whole thing, but if you're going to use this in a line, or if you're improvising or writing something, you probably don't want to go all the way through that. Just a little bit of it. You just make up something like that. But at first, you want to practice this up and down and just, you know. One thing that I just noticed there is when For some reason, when I'm descending with those, I have a tendency to use an upstroke. But on the way up, I'm using a down. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, we're going to do right up here in the second position, third position, and we're doing pull-offs, playing 5-3 open. And then the same thing on the second string. We're still in the same key too, E minor pentatonic scale. Then we're going to go 4-2 on the third string and open. Then 5-2 on these two strings. And this little thing there at the end. Of course, you could start to mix them together, but the important thing here is you hear those pull-offs all the way to the open string. You're really trying to control the string noise. Now, as we're pulling off to the open strings, we need to mute all the other strings. So you definitely want to be using some muting techniques, particularly with the right hand, because the left hand isn't going to be able to do that much. And just kind of following along with your palm muting up this way. If you haven't had the chance yet, you should definitely go over and check out our video on muting techniques. But one thing that I use all the time is to lay the thumb down on the strings right above where you're picking. Like if we were picking on the first string, my thumb is going to touch 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 through 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The thumb is just touching that down there. When you go to the second string, you could pick with an up, and you're still muting. And then the third. If you watch down here when I do that. Also with this hand, I will touch the first and second and sometimes the third string with these fingers if they're not being used, just to further mute them and sometimes to have a little anchor, a little stability there. Okay, that's number one was the hammer-offs. Number two is the pull-offs. Now we're going to look at number three. Lick number three is done in the key of A minor almost exclusively. We're going to have a note that's not in there, but we'll check that out when we get there. The notes of the A minor pentatonic scale are A, C, D, E, and G. So those are the main notes that we're going to use. And here we're going to play 6 open again and hammer 3 to 5 because those notes are common between A minor and E minor pentatonic. As a matter of fact, the two scales are only different by one note. Instead of playing the note B like you would in the E minor pentatonic scale, we're going to play the note C instead, and that's going to give us an A minor pentatonic scale. So we're going to play 3 to 5 and then 3 to 5 on the next string. We're not going to move up to 5 and 7. We're going to move over to 3 and 5. Then we're going to move up here to 5 and 7. And then we're going to come over and hammer 5 and 7, 5 and 7. And now this is where it gets a little hairy. We're going to play that second string open, which is the note B. And then we're going to go to the first string, 5 and 8. Then a descending version of that is lick number 4, and it's going to go like this. We're going to do 3 strings, then we're going to back up a string and do 3, and then do it again. And on the last one, we're going to do that. So it goes. All right, so you could use this technique for a lot of different stuff, and you might be able to seek out some songs or lines from songs where people have used similar licks, something like that, or you could just write your own lines with it. The very least, you could have some fun, maybe put it in the middle of a solo or something like that, and see what you come up with. I would love to hear it. All right, that's it for this video on the open string hammer-ons and pull-offs. Please let us know what you would like to see us talk about in the future here, and we will get to work. We are working on a whole bunch of videos now, bunch of cool stuff. So you guys are going to love it, I swear. Until next time, as always, keep making great music.